Thank you so much, and welcome everyone to today's 3-hour webinar on handling OOS test results and completing robust investigations. We have broken down the webinar for you today into 3 specific sections, one for each hour. Our first hour, we will go through session 1. It will be guidelines for detecting an out-of-specification result and an atypical result. We'll be talking about the definition of what these results actually are. We'll also review the FDA guidance for industry on investigating those test results. We'll step through exactly what you need to look at and look for in the phase 1 initial lab investigation, and then phase 2, the full-scale investigation. I like to start these 2 phases concurrently. It just actually saves some time because many of us know we are usually on the bubble for completing some specific deadlines when it comes to our investigations. We'll then switch gears a little bit and go into the root cause analysis methods. In these types of investigations, it's quite difficult to come up with the exact root cause. However, we really need to try to get there. We never want to hand over an investigation, whether it be an out-of-specification or just a general nonconformance or deviation investigation, and not have an exact root cause actually investigated, or the attempt at figuring out what went wrong. The biggest mistake or biggest blunder we can make in these types of investigations is to get to the root cause and a very short sentence stating no root cause can be determined at this time. We never want to do that. We want to make sure that the auditors, the investigators, the third-party individuals that are reviewing our investigations actually can see the work that we put forward into doing that. There's a few tools that we'll be talking about as well. The 5Y, flowcharts, checklists, fishbone diagrams. It's very important to go through those so that you can actually determine exactly what types of tools that you can utilize. We'll take a 10-minute break after our session 1, and we'll start session 2, where we will go through testing our hypotheses for regarding potential root causes, talk about retesting, and how we're going to consider other batches. Do we just focus on the one batch, or do we focus on other batches that have been made at the same time? We'll take another quick 5 to 10 minute break to talk about any questions, or perhaps just take a little mental break after session 2. That'll be our second hour, and then we'll move into the last part of the webinar, hour 3, or session 3. It is developing the corrective and preventative action plan to address correcting the issue and preventing it from happening again. We also will touch here on how to properly document what you found and how you actually can go through your plan, how you attempt to evaluate your plan, how you do your effectiveness checks, etc. And then we'll also go through the example of a proper out-of-specification write-up. It's also, at this point, we will go through some citations that really show exactly what the auditors are finding, some types of, kind of comments that the investigators are making when they're reviewing these types of investigations when they're put in front of them. So as you can see, we have a lot to talk about today. So we'll begin our session 1 at this time. This is going over detecting the out-of-specification or the atypical result. When we get into the laboratory, we have many things that we have to learn. We have to learn the methods, we have to understand the equipment, the instruments, and we always have to make sure that we're consulting our standard operating procedures and our specification charts or our results. A specification is often abbreviated as a spec. It is an explicit set of requirements to be satisfied by a material, a product, or service. We may come in contact, or we may be testing, just doing our daily water samples, our chemistry tests, or pH, and we may encounter a result that actually does not meet the required specification. At that point, we can consider that an out of specification, and usually the abbreviation of OOS is utilized.